something like acceptance, but it's never quite real. I still feel her in the background.
When did you start realizing this is something you could do professionally, or even go out and play your first gig?
My first time on stage was standing up at the Hartford Fiddle Contest, backing up a fiddle player who was competing. To this day, I love playing guitar behind fiddle players. And so that's how it started, and I started to get some paid gigs when I was up in Burlington, Vermont. First time you get paid to do this, it's a pretty exciting thing, and I was just really eaten up with the whole thing, and gradually got better as I was playing with people who were better than I was, and said, I'd like to find a band to join, So eventually joined my first band and started playing professionally, and then there's that time where you decide, do I want to try to do this for a living? I came from an entertainment family background. My mother was a professional actress, and so I saw what, how difficult that is, and lots of times, we didn't have very much money, and there's some instability there. But of course, I also saw the artistic satisfaction that was involved in that. My mother was a person who was really true to her art and everything, so I think I was inspired by that part of it, and just made a decision to at least try it out and see how it goes, and I could always go back. Well, I never looked back at that point.
So how long have you been a professional musician?
I have been a professional musician for over 38 years.
And so was there ever a time where you're like, maybe I should try something else?
Well, I sort of did try something else, and I've ended up fusing the two things. I was interested in radio for a long time, and I worked at the university radio station, started that, and I thought, maybe I should try doing this. This would be, and I contemplated that and then never quite did it. I know one time I decided I was going to get out of music. That was a very short-lived retirement. It's often happens, but I was doing that and pursuing radio at that time.
Okay. And you had talked about before where you started playing with other people who are better than you.
Yes.
Right. So have mentors been an important part of your musicianship at all?
Very important. And I think it's important for everybody, and that's why I try to also give back, and the people that want to play with me an opportunity. And I like teaching at music camps. I like teaching kids music camps. The idea of doing that and treating people well and not being snobbish about your music or anything like that. That's really important, because I think how important those people were that would listen to me and take me seriously, and people I could learn from. So I mean, the first band leader, the first bluegrass band I was a member of was back in New York State. It was a band called the Horse Country, and the guy named Bob Mavian, who passed away, he's a banjo player, and he was a great mentor. And he could see my ability, and he could see the areas where I needed to work on stuff, and he was great about all of that.
I think a lot of people who maybe aren't in the arts somehow, especially music, would find it very intimidating to walk up to somebody or approach someone and be like, "You're really good at what you do. And I want to do what you do, so help me,"
Yeah.
And especially in bluegrass and Americana, the whole genre of string traditional music, everyone seems pretty open and encouraging to each other. Am I right there?
I think that's true, and the people that play the music professionally are very accessible, and it's a very participation-oriented kind of music. So we tend to play with each other, and people that play at different levels, and there any form of music and writing and any kind of art, there are always going to be prima donna types that don't want to deal with the underlings, and they kind of forget how they got there, and they forget their own mentors. We have that too, of course, but I think generally speaking, people are, as you say, pretty open. When my heart went for